I'm your host, Andres, and I got okay.
Lover. I'm supposed to do this next week, but I be all over the place. So I was like,
So that's what we wanted it to be.
Following up on social medias right now because
it wasn't producing a lot at the time. So just hearing about
Google and YouTube University is idealistically the best way to learn.
They ain't ready to hear me on that microphone to see me on this stage, and when I feel like the whole city can hear me. Oh man, that would go crazy.
All right, y'all. We tuned in for another episode of Back That Radio Show. I am your host, Andres, and I have another interview for y'all. We coming from the boot. Everybody don't know that that's Louisiana area. We have Carmen of Carmen AskTV. Yes, I almost said ask, but it's Carmen Ask TV. Ma'am, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. It's actually Ask.
I'm sorry. Ask Carmen TV. See, there we go. Yeah, well, that would make sense. Yes. So Ask Carmen TV. Mm-hmm. But okay, so let's start with that. Little background. You were an esthetician for over 15 years. Mm-hmm. You're a content creator as well. Mm-hmm. Podcaster.
Yeah.
Or sort of about to.
I had my own podcast and I've been kind of slacking on it. And I actually had just had the thought the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to start back being on other people's podcasts. And before I could even make a post or anything, you reached out to me. So I was like, oh, well, okay, here we go.
What they say, this God, look at God.
Yeah.
So let's start with the esthetician and doing that because I've interviewed a couple of different estheticians and I understand, what I'm saying, what that industry looks like. What made you want to go down that road?
I actually had no idea what an esthetician even was when I got started. So like you said, I am from the boot, and years ago would have been 2005 when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans. Then a lot of the filmmaking and movie production came up here. I'm up northern Louisiana. Yeah. So then I had already kind of fallen in love with makeup, on my own. And I decided I would like to do makeup on movie sets.
Okay.
When I said this, I had no idea. At the time, you had to have an aesthetics license to do makeup on the movie sets. So I went to school only wanting just to get, my little piece of paper so I could do makeup. But actually, when I went to school, I ended up falling in love with the whole shebang. Even way back then, they told us that the field was going to be growing tremendously. But of course, I'm like, well, they'll say anything, they want to keep coming to class. But actually, it has grown a whole lot. So it's really exciting for me now seeing all the baby estheticians and people just now into the field, because I feel like so many of us help to pave the way,
Yeah.
Started, people were like, you're an what? A what? So you don't do hair? And now people are seeking out estheticians. So it's really cool to see. But so yeah, that's how I got started.
Now, do you still currently practice being an esthetician? Is that your discretion?
Well, I really hate to say this, but I have been trying to quit for years now. But I successfully built such a large clientele, and I have so many people who refuse to go to anyone else. So it's a problem to have. So I've been in this pivoting between aesthetics and content creation for about 3 or 4-ish years now. And every month I'm like, this is it. This is my last month taking appointments. I said that again this month. So my month taking appointments, and then next month I'm going all in on content. So I'm not sure. I recently found as mono, I forgot the term, but there's something for people who are only able to really focus on one thing at a time. Me. So for my aesthetics career, that was awesome because I had just complete tunnel vision, get all this other stuff. But now that I'm wanting to do something else,
It's Baked Out Radio Show, and I have some deals for y'all. There are some companies that I've been going, researching, looking at the different products and services that I want to turn y'all on to. So go to my deals page, check them out. Any one of them that you want to interact with, want to do some business with, you'll get a promo discount as well when you try their product. Banked Out, BANKEDOUTT. Slide over to that page, check out what I have to offer, and let me know.
It's been interesting starting over.
It sounds like it's been a hard habit to break.
Yeah. I saw something a few years ago that said change is actually mentally hard. So think of yourself walking through a trail of snow, just over and over again, and now you've made this big trench in this snow, and you want to go a different direction. Yeah. Well, when you first started, you could have easily turned and gone another direction, but now you're so deep in it, it's hard for mind to do something different. So I'm not too hard on myself with this, but at the same time, I'm like,
no, really? I definitely get it. So, so you started, the content creation a couple of years ago. What made you want to do content creation, and then, what space within content creation did you start off with?
So I will piggyback a little bit back onto the aesthetics career again. So I can't be just totally upset. I call them my brow babes, because all the years of having one-on-one chats with them and talking them through different major life events and just all the things, I feel like that is what I'm really supposed to be doing. I love brows, of course. I mean, that's great. But I think I love it and my clients love it because of the chats that we have. Even now that I've been just barely, I do one weekend a month and barely seeing anybody, still every time that I go and do brows, someone's like, oh my goodness, I really needed to hear this today. I'm so glad that we were able to talk about this. Other people don't understand. So I just feel like there's so many women out there in the world, people, of course, but I've been working with women for all these years that need to hear these same things. So having chats with the brow babes all these years, I just feel like I need to be having those same conversations online. Who knew it's not so easy online? Have someone that's talking back and forth with you, so much easier, so great. But then just sitting in the room with the phone alone, I'm like, so
yeah, a lot of people describe it to me as like, feeling a little weird and stuff like that. Trying to do that particular process because, like you said, when you're talking to somebody back and forth, that's conversation. Yes. When you're just, recording inside the phone, camera, whatever the case may be, you got to plan all your stuff. You got to really make it engaging. Because if, they're not engaged, or whatever, they're just clicking off and you're not able to build your audience. So when you started, putting out the content, what was the response from your community?
It has been a good response, but I have gone viral for the most random things. And I know everybody says that, but it's like, I'm trying to talk to y'all about this important life stuff. And then a random video I throw up of me at the airport gets millions of views. It's like,
what was that video about that went viral at the airport?
I was just showing people that they have Minute Suites. It's a place where you can actually sleep inside of the airport. So instead of going out and getting your own hotel room and possibly missing your flight, I kind of found out the hard way that these things had been available in certain airports for years. And so apparently no one knew. And so that's
well, that's why you went viral, because one, you solved something for people. Yeah. Not even knowing that that's what you did, because you just, saying like, oh, this is interesting. I never knew about this. And that's why, like you said, people paying for airports and stuff. I mean, paying for, hotels and stuff like that, knowing that, they got to fight against traffic and all that stuff. You're back in line. I mean, you right there at the airport.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Take what? I guess they book a couple hours or something like that or whatever, take a little nap. And just catch you another flight, which is way more convenient and easier to do. So I definitely understand why that went viral. So like you said, how is it? Were you able to really reel in an audience, like based off of the content that you wanted to present them, and like?
Yes and no.
Okay.
The bulk of the people on my page are from these different viral moments. Another one was when I randomly threw up a video. There were like 20 trash trucks lined up outside my chiropractor's office. So I just thought I had just got some, what are the Meta Ray-Bans? I just turned like, and so I stopped to speak to the guys. At that time in my hometown, there was a citywide power outage or something going on. So people were throwing away like all sorts of food, and just, I knew that they were having a tough time. So I just stopped to say, I don't know y'all, but I just want to say that I appreciate you, and I know you have a tough ass job. I'm just thinking this is a little 5-second clip, no big deal. And millions of views on that. So here I am with my little, notepad and ready to talk about avoiding burnout and all these great things. I get some traction, but like I said, the most followers and stuff, they came from these random schmandom things. But they're still with me though. They have unfollowed me, but at the same time, like, I want to talk about this and y'all are here for that. So
okay, so talk about what is it that you want to talk about then, as far as like the type of content you want to present to the audience. Like,
well,
what are you trying to do? Empower them? What?
So many things. I now have put my focus on saying the things that I would have said to myself at the beginning of my career. Because like I said, I didn't know any other estheticians. I had never even heard of it. My family thought that I was just wasting my time. So I know their plight is probably not the exact same as it was back then in 2010, but still, I'm saying all those things I would have said, someone should have said to me back then, I say to them. So I do have people that are tuning in for that. So that is exciting. But yeah, I want people to know that whatever it is that you're wanting to do, no matter how ridiculous it sounds to other people, if you really put your mind to it and, put your effort into it, you can do it. You can become successful doing something, even if it's something that no one else has ever heard of. And so in my case, I was told to go back to school for hair or nails, or you have to move to a bigger city. Black people don't, just so many negative things. Luckily, I do my best work out of spite. So
I love it. I love it. Is that like a characteristic trait that you have then?
It's
like
just,
you want to prove people wrong?
Why would you say that to me? Like, why would you? I didn't even ask your opinion. So many of my greatest successes have been after someone told me it was something that I could not do. So, yeah, I would just advise other people to do the same thing. Tune out the noise, wear blinders, and just focus on the goals that you have set for yourself.
That's what's up. I was going through your YouTube channel or Instagram. Actually, I went through both of them, and I didn't document where I found these particular things for, but the book Dropping the Mask from you did like
breakdown. We hear the word burnout, but no one tells you how extreme it can get. Going years without any boundaries, constantly pouring into others while neglecting yourself, it can lead to your body completely shutting down. And the recovery isn't quick. For me, it took years of talk therapy, mixed diagnosis, and medication before I even realized the real work was about relearning who I am and what I truly want. That's why I'm writing my book, Dropping the Mask, not just to share my story, but the tools that help me to rebuild, because healing isn't about going back to who you were, it's discovering yourself all over again.
A burnout video and actually talked about how burnout is really a real thing, and that you didn't realize it until you come to that, realization. Have you dropped the book yet?
I have not dropped the book yet. So I'm finished, but this is my first book. So I didn't realize you have to go through several rounds of edits. So I'm working with different editors now, shopping around. And as much as I want to release it, I don't want to just throw out anything. So
yeah, I definitely get that.
But at the same time, I was always someone who was a perfectionist. So I'm trying to not let that be what's.
I have a saying about perfection. Perfection gets in the way of progress.
Right. Right. So yeah, so I am done writing it, but I am going through the edits right now. So soon
Mhm.
be able to drop the book.
So, your burnout, right?
Mm.
What led you to understand that that's what you was experiencing?
Actually, at the time, I had no idea what to call it. I didn't have the words to describe what I was feeling because,
Hmm.
I heard about burnout, but people aren't really talking about how serious it can be. And
Hmm.
at the time, I was just like, oh my goodness, I feel something coming. I'm thinking like a miracle or something is coming. I was like, I'm feeling
Hmm.
something. It's so close. I don't know what it is. Whole
Hmm.
time, my body was shutting down, is what it
Yeah.
had. Our body, now I know that our bodies actually give us so many different signals. But if you don't know what you're looking out for, then you're just thinking, oh, this is normal. I'm working,
Hmm.
or this is a normal thing. And then so many people, again, can't speak for the guys, but so many
Hmm.
women, burnout has become just the baseline. So while you're saying, oh, I'm feeling this or I'm feeling that, well, all your friends, I know so many hairstylists and tattoo artists, and everybody was feeling the same way. So when I'm saying this and sliding down the wall in my shop, it doesn't seem strange because everybody is feeling the same way. But
Hmm.
I had no idea that it can really kill you. I don't want to take
Hmm.
it far, but I recently saw, I'm not sure if you saw, I don't remember what state she was from, but I saw they shared a thing about this lady that owned a restaurant.
The
And
chef, yeah. Hmm.
yeah,
She went to sleep and never woke up.
yes. And so
Hmm.
I'm like, oh my goodness, I could have died. I could have died.
Yeah, I'm like, it's real. It's a real thing. And I don't think, like you said, I like the fact that you even talk about it and stuff like that because I don't think topics like that, like, we'll get into your podcast and stuff as well. But when people, what I'm saying, decide, like, let's say build a platform, put their voice out there, they're always going with, topics that seem like, would be surface level type stuff to where, get a lot of clicks, things of that nature. And I'm talking about the real substance of things, like
No,
burning out, the fact that we put so much pressure on ourselves trying to compete, and understanding, what I'm saying, that one, we don't have to, we're not really competing with one another, we're competing with ourselves,
right.
first of all. But again, it's like how social media, when people want to present stuff so polished and making it like, I love the fact that you roll your eyes like
That
that.
bothers me so much. I didn't even try to react, but that really bothers me because, again, when I got started, I didn't have anybody to compare myself to. So
Hmm.
I really have a guide or a shining light, no mentor, but also I was not comparing myself to anyone. I was
Hmm.
only comparing myself to who I was, what I was doing before. So for me, it's been awesome. Like I said, to me, I've always just thought of it like when horses race and they wear the blinders. I don't know the
Hmm.
term, but that's
Hmm.
been me all these years. But now the girls that are in school,
Hmm.
you're already talking about six figure. And it's just like, if I hear six figure year one more time, it's
Hmm.
just,
Yeah, well, first of all, like I don't think okay, so I love having conversations like this. You know what I'm saying? Because business degree, concentration in marketing, ran multiple businesses. The best business I've ever had was a counseling business for a decade plus. We built it up to where we got it to $750,000 a year, right? Lots
mhm.
of money or whatever. And was sitting there paying 22 people at the height of it on payroll and having to manage all that. That's a lot of problems too. But anyway, when people talk about building a six-figure business, I don't think they even actually understand what their conversion rates are going to be to get to six figures.
No, they don't.
Like you got a $20 product, you want to make 10,000, you're only going to be able to make that 10,000, you have to appeal to 20,000 because that is the 2.5 conversion rate standard. That's a little bit more, but I gave it a couple extra points. But people don't look up this type of information. Like for
No.
every 100 people you interact with, you're gonna get 99 no's, and then you get the one yes.
Someone literally, now I am in a bunch of the beginner esthetician groups and stuff. Since I've been,
Hmm.
I don't want to say furloughed or on a sabbatical, reduced hours, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
I now, like I said, I try to talk to them the way I wish someone would have talked to me. So a girl posted just yesterday. She was like, what can I do to build clientele? I'm passing out cards every day and all this, blah, blah, blah. Everybody else is telling her just random BS. I asked her, well, how many have you passed out? 100 cards total. I wanted to just say so many things, but I had just said to say, keep it up, because the more people who know who you are and what you do, the more people that will book with you. But you can't expect you put out 100. You're booking. I
But again, this is what I like, because you have 15 years of experience as an entrepreneur plus, because you work for yourself and being an esthetician. So you understand entrepreneurship and business at its core.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who don't even understand it. And with social media nowadays, they're making it look like, oh, anyone can do this. Well, if anyone can do it, everyone will be able to do it.
Yeah. Now they are real deal graduating from beauty school and immediately opening their own salons. Well, now they have the suites. Everybody is sweet.
No, go ahead. Speak on it. You know that industry. Talk your talk.
Just things you need to learn outside of getting your license. And this is not to discredit anyone. Getting your license and finishing beauty school is an amazing feat. I went to quit many times. I was a big, hot, pregnant, just it was a stressful time. But still, I had so much more that I had to learn before I was ready to open my own salon. And even when I did open my own salon, I'm forever taking more classes. I've got all sorts of business books over here. It's so much more that goes into it. But what I will say is not everyone is this way. Not everyone is just jumping straight out, not asking questions. There are some who know, okay, I don't know a lot about X, Y, and Z. I'm looking for a mentor. I'm looking for this. But I just would hate for someone to go through all the steps and things and then just to give up so quickly because they didn't have the time to learn anything else.
Yeah, and it was a poor strategy, because even like you said, finishing business, beauty school is a feat in itself. But that's like the foundational level.
Right.
Then jumping out there in a suite, I don't care if it's a one room thing or if you're trying to get like 3-4 rooms. First of all, the moment you enter commercial space, you're playing a whole nother level of business. You got to think about the fact that those bills, that rent, that insurance, that a lot of people be getting, it's coming every month. Those taxes are coming every month.
About these bills are not stopping. So you're feeling sorry for yourself or you don't understand and you're having a pity party. That commercial real estate person does not give a damn.
Exactly.
So it's not that I want to scare them. I know that they can succeed. I'm doing brows. I was able to build a home, travel the world, all these amazing things of something that people told me I could not do in this area. In my hometown, the median income was like $40,000 a year for a family of 4. But doing brows, I was able to make that much in a month. So it's like you're in a certain area, yes, but you can't let that limit you, so it's just so many things. It's so many things. But for those, now I know, and this is great that we came to this. Now I know it's important to work with the willing. This is something that I wish I would have personally learned way back at step 1. Because even at the very beginning, for some reason, something inside, I always like to talk to other people and encourage them to do the thing. So even when I finished school, I worked at Ulta, and then I booth rented in a hair salon. Now, mind you, it was a 40 square foot broom closet, really, what they were renting me for $100 a week. But in my mind, this is my own spa. This is my own space. I am self-employed. I'm having meetings in a 40 square foot broom closet trying to tell other people how they can do the same thing. So I don't know. I just always felt I call it something inside, you know, to help other people. But some people want you to do all the work.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh my God.
and that's actually what burnt me out more than
Yes.
so
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Like you said, you come across as like a very caring spirit, right? But then sometimes in business, that's to your detriment because you care so much and you can't want it more for them. I
right.
was so gung ho when I started entrepreneurship back in 2005. I wanted everybody to do it. I was about to solve everybody's problems, and I'm out here doing stuff, whatever. But I'm showing up way more than them. I'm sacrificing, and I'm not getting anything out of it. So I almost quit a couple times.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm about to hang this shit up and go and do something that's easier
Yeah.
because it wasn't worth the way to go. But I didn't, which was great. And I'm able to do what I do now. So yeah, I definitely get that. Like you said, you have to invest in those that are willing to invest in themselves. And
Yeah.
if they're not willing, there's no reason in even working with them because you already know you have the experience to see the writing on the wall right now. Younger
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, but you had to learn just like I had to learn. So now you're the best version of yourself now.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand that. So tell us about, you starting a platform, Ask Carmen TV, and so the podcast is also called Ask Carmen as well, or
So people are supposed to send me a question.
uh-huh.
I answer it. So stuff like this. But like I said, people aren't maybe they're not wanting to be vulnerable, or maybe they
Mm-hmm.
don't look like they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, on top of all the things that I said already, another thing is I have always taken other classes and gone to different cities and stuff. Even paying thousands of dollars, you're traveling to Las Vegas or wherever, people
Mm-hmm.
will go and sit quietly and not ask anything. That was never me. That was
Yeah.
never.
I know I couldn't do that.
Hey, no, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a question. What are y'all talking about? We could break for no, I got a question. And
Mm-hmm.
I've never understood that because we're here to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought I would put myself out there, you let
Mm-hmm.
people ask questions, but they're not asking me a lot of business questions. They're asking me about the suites at the airport and stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm. Well,
yes,
maybe you just gotta go to go to some schools where they have business programs and start, what I'm saying, with the population to see who actually has the interest. I don't think a lot of people are interested in business like they claim they are.
yeah.
I really don't because like when you look at the stats or whatever, what is it? I had this diagram that I had posted probably about I would say over 2 years ago from the Small Business uh, Administration. And like 27 million businesses are ran by one person, and the one person is not even an employee of the business, so they're just a owner. And then that made up like a good, I would say 90% small businesses in the United States. And then the other two categories was businesses that fell between 2 to 10 employees, I believe, which made up maybe around 8%, and then the rest was 5% of 10 and more.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of people out there, they're individuals, they're running
Yeah.
businesses, and they, probably a lot of them start businesses not with the intent of starting a business, but because someone told them to,
Mm,
because they were good at something. So like their thirst for knowledge really isn't there.
right.
And then the ones who say they want to be in business are only saying that because they see other people doing it.
Yeah.
So their thirst for knowledge is not really there.
No.
It's only those who actually dedicate themselves in the manner of like, whether they go to business school or they start something like you did, finish it, and their approach is that of always evolution and growing because you kept on going, and you sought out the information, whether, what I'm saying, going to conferences, stuff like that, seminars, reading books, like you said, all
Mhm.
those are telltale signs of that you really want this.
Yeah. For me, I'm not sure which category that I would be put in because I feel like I was almost forced to become an
Mm,
entrepreneur. Like I said, I worked at Ulta.
mm,
There were maybe dermatologist offices hiring, not a lot of jobs.
mm,
And even when I worked at Ulta, the hours were not really a good fit for me as a mom.
mm,
That was always my thing. They even set us through a meeting. It was supposed to be encouraging us to be better employees for them, but it
mm,
actually just was the nail in the coffin for me to finally jump out and become an entrepreneur. So I
mm,
don't come from a family of entrepreneurs.
mm,
Both of my parents have had the same job my whole life, like which
mm,
isn't,
mm.
fine for
So
them. But
you're the first in your family to be the entrepreneur.
well, I have an aunt that she was a hairstylist when I
Mm,
was much younger, but she developed carpal tunnels. So
mm,
because of her, I knew that what I was trying to do was not going to
mm.
be a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
Even in the very beginning, I had already said it was going to be, and this may be a ridiculous analogy, but this is how I thought of it. I said it's going to be a lot like when you're trying to go play sports professionally.
Mm-hmm,
So I knew that I would have to be, hustling, starting off,
mm-hmm,
training, getting better. And then
mm-hmm,
based on the effort that I put in, it would
mm-hmm,
determine how far I would go. But I knew that I was not going to be able to do it forever. Now, the crazy thing about it is, I said that I was going to do this for 10 years
mm-hmm,
and then start doing something different. But when
mm-hmm,
my 10 years came up, like I said, I'm making money. Someone told me money hand over fist. I'm just, so I could not really see myself walking away at that point that I had originally set for myself. So
mm-hmm.
I worked, what, 2, 3 more years outside of what I had set for myself before I got burnt out. I started training and really started training.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was like, forget everything else. Forget that. I got
Yeah.
paid $20,000 in cash in one day. And this is someone who, at the beginning of all this, I couldn't even pay. My rent was $525, and I was splitting it with somebody else. I couldn't even pay that. Like I was having a hard time with that. So
Mm-hmm.
to go from that to what? People are giving
Mm-hmm.
me thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling fine. You know what? I don't need a break. I don't need anything.
No, I get it though, because you reach that level of success that one a lot of people do not reach, just numerically from a business standpoint. So you was able to push through and get to that level.
Yeah.
And then it's the longer you stay in business, the more ambitious your goals become because you keep growing. But then also the dominoes start to fall or whatever, meaning that like they're falling in place because you've gained all this experience. So you know how to execute things even more quicker and efficiently to where the results start to pop up, as
Mhm.
opposed to other people who's trying to like get to a 20,000 year, let alone 20,000 in a day.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? So you learn how to just flick the little domino, make it fall or whatever, because that's where all that sharpening your skill. You've been sharpening your business tools the entire
Time.
time.
Yeah. But now, like I said, people are posting, come with me while I make $20,000 in a day. And so if you're brand new and you see this, that's your aim right there. Forget
Mm-hmm,
the $20,000 a year, forget all the other steps. You're wanting that right away. And if you're not
mm-hmm,
getting that result, you feel
mm-hmm,
like a failure. And that's the part that bothers me because
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's very misleading
yeah,
because, like you said, there are other steps prior to that. You don't get to go just jump. You got to practice jumping. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided to write the book
Mm-hmm,
because, I'm not wanting to scare people, but just make them aware of things that can happen. Like I said, I knew my aunt had the surgery. She started working at Libby Glass after that. Instead, she never did hair again, not even her own hair. So I already knew that
mm-hmm.
was a possibility. But are people talking about that online? No.
No, no, they want to talk about all the sexy stuff. Is it? They want to talk about the fruits of the labor, not the labor itself, and
No.
then the stuff that didn't work out.
Right.
Like I did a whole series or season of the other side of entrepreneurship where I was exposing things like that and shining light to it because I'm passionate about business, passionate about entrepreneurship, and the way they sell it, which I get, like for let's say Shark Tank and The Profit and all those particular type of shows. Those
Mhm.
shows are designed to be sexy. Those shows are designed to, where, oh yeah, these people are doing this and now they're doing $15 million in sales later. I'm like, first of all, yeah, I ain't telling what these people went through to get
Right.
to that. Then on top of that, you're not talking about like, where that money actually goes.
Yeah.
Because once they got those investors and stuff like that, they want their money and they want it in multitudes of, whatever ROI they want on it. So if it's 2 time multiple, 3, 5, whatever, yeah, that 15 starts to shrink real big.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, there's all sorts of, some horror stories for it. And just like the numbers in itself, businesses do not grow like that. And then like the stat for like business in general, within the first 5 years, it was 60 to 70% of businesses fail. Within the first 10 of those that keep going, 90% of them fail within 10 years.
Mm.
That's a huge staggering number.
Yeah.
But they're not talking about that. The ones that people see 10 years later stood the test of time and they were able to pivot and adapt to all the different circumstances that affected their industries.
Right. Years ago, at the very beginning, well, not very beginning, I guess once other people started to notice that I was picking up speed and, my clientele was growing,
Mhm.
they asked, I'll never forget, someone asked me, well, they're starting to make all these machines that do the same thing that you do now. I can buy a stamp at the beauty supply store that does the same thing that you do. What are you going to do when those things become more popular? I said, well, one, I'll have the machine here because I know everybody can't buy it. But whatever the case may be, whatever I have to do, I will pivot because
Mhm.
I have no plan B. I have
Mhm.
no, this is what I'm doing. So whatever
Mhm.
comes along, like I said, I'm taking a class every year to stay on top of it and to make sure that I know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
But another example, I really hate to throw the people under the bus, but these are conversations that I've been having with the folks. So a girl was messaging, she was like, well, what booking system do you guys use? Because I like this one, but it's $20 a month. And I would hope for something free. It took everything in
Mhm.
me. I just say too much. Everybody else was like, oh, this is free. Let's do this and do this. It's free. I
Mhm.
said, I use this system that you're talking about, and yes, it is. It's actually $24, but it's $20 a month. But I do not have to play phone tag with people. All
Mhm.
my prices, my service information is listed. I get reviews that are posted, and when people search for someone in my area that's doing what I do, I come up because I pay the $20 a month. So for me, it's a great investment. But also,
Mhm.
I have had a receptionist forever and a day. I mean, just so many things. You're not seeing it as an investment in your business. You're seeing that
Mhm.
I've already got the suite rent. I'm barely paying that now. $20? I don't know. It really just, I have so much that I want to say, but I don't want
Mhm.
to crush their spirits. But at the same time, this is $20 we're
Mhm.
talking.
Now, how about this? How crush your experience? That type of thinking where they're not going to make anything
Yeah,
because it's their mindset that holds them back from achieving the goal that they want. The whole
yeah,
point of a business to run efficiently and effectively, the more efficient you are, the more profitable you become. That's just what it is. That's pure business science, if you want to call it that or whatever. But again, like I've seen even like podcasting and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've monetized my podcast in so many different ways that most people don't even think about how to monetize. And I'm like, I've landed clients just off in a free interview, and then here I get like a $2,600 contract.
mhm,
So I'm like, come on. When you go into it with the right mindset, then and there's stuff that I pay for, podcasting software, you know what I'm saying, to record and stuff like that. Video editing software every month, with all the different plugins. There's equipment, you know what I'm saying, that I've upgraded. There's distribution software for the actual podcast itself to be on all the different platforms. People are like, oh no, I want to go to the free one. Well, the free one, you ain't gonna make no money. So you keep doing all this free how you want to or whatever and looking at it that way. But just because it's free doesn't mean that you need it.
No. And
But
now that we're talking about this, I really wonder, when did I become a business person? At first, I was just wanting to do the thing. I don't know. I don't really know at what moment did it really switch for me, but I'm
mhm,
glad that it did. And
yeah.
I just wish that there was something I could say or do that would activate that in everybody. But like we said, you know, you got to
Mhm,
work with the willing. So everybody else on her post was like, "Yo, the free, you know, yeah, $20 too much." And I was
mhm,
the only one who was saying this is actually a great service to have. I highly
mhm,
recommend it, especially as estheticians. You don't want your phone ringing. You're doing a facial with this person.
mhm.
Now you're talking over them about somebody who may not even. I just
Exactly. Yeah. I hate when barbers cut my hair and they are on the phone. So you know, hey.
don't get me started on the bar. Of all the things, I love what they do, but
Uh-huh.
their whole entire field overall could be way better. And
Mhm,
so I hear them complaining. Just like I said, just being in this industry, I've met so many of them. And my heart goes out to you, sir. Yes.
mhm,
But what are you doing on your end to improve the situation? Or are you just
mhm.
complaining? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You just complaining.
Yeah. You know, that's what it is. I've seen too many of them, whatever, complain, complain, complain. That's all I want to do. And I'm like, it's so like at the end of the day, I think some people do look at it like from the stance of, well, I'm in business and I, you know, I deserve this and that. And I'm like, no, you have to earn every client. What you talking about?
Yeah.
That's how that goes.
I will say one thing that people may not like to hear, but this is just my own experience.
Hmm.
There are a lot of us that are in business that are Black business owners that
Hmm.
feel just because we are a Black business, Black people should come to our business and support us. No
Hmm.
other reason,
Hmm.
no other. I'm Black and you are
Hmm.
Black. And I,
Hmm.
at first, I was going along with it. I was like, okay, you know, I always want to
Hmm.
have supporting other Black businesses, but this is the only qualification. You're not even a good
Hmm.
business person. You have no customer service, no nothing at all, but you're complaining that other Black people aren't supporting you when your only reason is because we are both African American. I'm,
Hmm. Exactly. I mean, we gotta do better. The standard of, you know what I'm saying, how we do stuff should be better. You should, you know, want people to support you because one, you're offering something that's when you're saying different than everybody else, and you
yeah,
got and you're showing the value with it. So, but like you said, customer service, one, I tell people there's a such thing as opportunity lost house, meaning that, you know what I'm saying, when you post the hours of operation and saying that you're open from 12 to 6, and here it is 12 o'clock, you're not even open, someone walks past you and can't get in, you lost some money.
yeah,
Like I used to tell business owners that in the city I'm in, well, that I used to live in all the time, a smaller town. And I was like, look, y'all are not going to be in business long because you don't even treat your business with the respect and professionalism that it deserves. That way you can showcase that to potential customers.
mm,
But you know, hey, again, everyone doesn't deserve to be in business either. So hey,
no.
you're either gonna sink or you're gonna swim. But was there anything that I missed out? I'm like, we've been having a great conversation thus far.
Well, I would want to ask you something. So, if
Okay.
someone they're in business, they're
Hmm.
not really seeing the results that they hope for, do you feel that anyone can change and improve, or do you feel like sometimes the person is just too far gone?
I've met some people that are too far gone.
Mm,
I would hope that they could, but again, it's a mind thing.
yeah.
And like I tell people all the time, like success. My definition of success is not a financial goal. It's you get to wake up and live your dream every day. You get to do what you want to do. That's being successful. So you have to change your mindset. You can have the best in, you know, whatever. You have the best product, you have the best service. You can be the best thing since sliced bread. But if you
Mhm.
have the wrong, you know what I'm saying, mindset, it's not going to do anything. Because I've seen better businesses that could replace other ones, but they don't due to the mindset of the person. They're just so gone, so far gone. And the thing I love about business when it comes to customers, they give you real time data.
Mm-hmm.
When they interact with you and they're excited to spend money with you, you're doing something right.
Right.
When they stop coming back to you, you're doing something wrong.
Right. It's to me, it's pretty clear. But like I said, I've always just seen people going on these rants online, y'all this, and you only want to support who's popular and all this and blah blah blah. But the whole time I've been trying to book with you for months and you never answer the phone, or the number you have listed online is incorrect, or you don't even have a website, or
Do you? I got a question. Do you ever say that to them?
no.
Oh, so you're not doing your part of accountability.
Well, recently I tried and a rant post was made about me. So I just reminded myself you got to work with the willing. So if someone asks for, how can I do this? Or, hey, I'm having trouble with this. Anybody got, then yes.
Yeah.
A person went on a rant about people trying to get pricing and stuff and all this. And she was going to be charging a fee from here on out. From here on out, you got any questions, it's a $30 fee, which I was like, and I really was just asking. I said, so $30 to ask a question? And she was like, yeah, you wouldn't understand because it's a catering business and this is what caterers do. I said, but okay, I wouldn't understand because I'm not a caterer. And then you don't have your menu or anything displayed.
Exactly.
So I have a question, but now you're going to charge me. So I feel like that might deter people from wanting to book with you. She blocked me, made this whole long post about folks who ain't never put $1 in your pocket. They got something to say, but I've been in business for 15 years, so I don't even.
Ma'am, you made more than she will probably make in, what I'm saying, in a day that, again, I'm sorry, sometimes you just gotta pop your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people be getting out of pocket with me, I just go ahead and let them know. And then I start looking up, see, this is where I go wrong. I start looking up stuff and making sure that the business is actually legit. So then I start tagging them like, well, how you legit? You're not in registered and all that stuff. And if you're a caterer, depending on, what I'm saying, the city, municipality, all that stuff, whether you gotta have licenses and, you gotta have your thing from the health department, the license from there. So, yeah, okay, you go out here, I experience some food with you, whatever, anytime my stomach's feel a little funny, or you about to get sued. So, hey.
I'll take it that far. Just say they'll figure it out on their own, or they'll go back to working for somebody else. Because
well, the likely scenario though, when someone has to do that or whatever, and they don't understand. First of all, people call customer service. I mean, people call businesses all the time and ask questions. So you should every time I tell people every time your phone rings, that's money on the line. You want the phone to ring. You don't charge, they don't pick up like, oh, before you can talk to Walmart or whatever, or this store or this pizza place, you got to pay us. Man, please, if people did that for real, there wouldn't be no. But again, that particular person doesn't know how to navigate the space of a business. I don't care the fact that, what I'm saying, it's a different industry. Business principles are the same across the board.
Yeah.
So, if you don't have clear, concise messaging, people can't see your prices. They don't know what's on your menu. How are they supposed to do business with you? That just makes no sense whatsoever. So
when I first started this, I was prepared to help all types of business because, like you said, the information, it transfers over. Like, no matter what you're doing, it's the same thing. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to just stick with the estheticians because I know exactly. And then they see me as someone who's further down the road in what they do. Whereas this person probably like, stick to brows or something like that. So now I'm on my niche with the baby estheticians because although my information can help everyone, I don't know why I'm not seen as a voice to all the other business people. So it's crazy.
Well, they probably look at you and if y'all in, same area or something like that, or they can see how well you're doing. they probably at the end of the day envious and jealous. You know, and see you as a threat.
I don't know. I don't even give it that much thought anymore. Like I said, after getting trying to help other people, now as soon as she said that, I was like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I will never be booking with you, but best
Yeah.
of luck to you in all your future endeavors. So now that's my thing that I say when I met with I don't even know what to call that type of person, but not the willing,
Yeah.
say, you know what? Best of luck to you in all your future endeavors. And then I just move on because they have to learn. I mean, they have to learn. I had to learn. At first, I had a plan and how I wanted things to be. But as things started to grow, other people wanted to, join in and work with me. And so where originally I planned to just be a solo entrepreneur. Before I knew it, here I'm 24 with a team of 9 people working for me. And saying it now, I have to really give my time to pop. But at the time, I was just freaking out. I was like, oh my goodness, who are these hooligans? Everybody, we went to school and got our licenses. Yes, hooray. But this is it. Like you don't want to read the book. You don't want to. So it was a lot of, even back then, like I said, I've always just been teaching other people and trying to help polish other people, but it's not always well received. I got a bad review one time, and the person was like, I love my brows, but the environment in the shop is changing. There was someone next door to Carmen who was just playing profanity and, talking loud and cussing. And I really felt uncomfortable. So we have a meeting. First of all, not everybody is having meetings, but I wasn't at first either until someone told me even McDonald's has meetings. So I started having meetings. So I read at the meeting. I don't say anyone in particular because really it's all of us. We are Blink was the name of my shop. So we are a unit here. So if they're saying something about one of us, it's all of us. So anyway, I read the review and then I immediately come with, these are some ways that we can avoid this from happening again. Still not singling anybody out. Well, of course, the person knows she's next door to me. She didn't talk to me after that for at least a month. I just read the review. I didn't say, hey, you right there, you're raggedy, anything like that. But people don't want to hear that they're doing something wrong.
No, they don't.
But
they keep forgetting that business is a professional environment too, though.
Man, it got a little raggedy for a little while there. But again, I had to recognize that, get feedback from the customers, and change on my end. So like I said, I started holding meetings. Okay, so y'all don't have a customer service background. I just so happened to work at a bunch of call centers in customer service before this. So now I'm bringing that I learned to share with you. So it's been a journey for sure. I don't even know what I thought we was going to talk about today, but I'm so glad that you invited me onto your show because this is real deal stuff that people are not talking about.
Exactly. This is why I do this. Because I want to be able to bring topics like that. But I have enjoyed our time. I want my battery to die and all that stuff. Let people know how they can reach out to you, follow your social media handles and stuff like that, especially all the different estheticians that are, coming up in the world.
So specifically for estheticians, I have Brow Babe University. I have Brow Babe University IG and also TikTok. But for business questions, now also travel and beauty questions as well, I have AskCarmenTV. Oh, and now I'm cooking. I didn't even know that was going to take off. So last thing I'm going to say before I get out of here, if someone is interested in making content, make sure you're doing something that you are ready to do every day, because you put something out there, it can take off and people are going to be asking you for more recipes when I didn't even know that was my thing. So yeah.
I definitely appreciate your time, ma'am. Thank you. Everybody, y'all go and support Carmen. Like you said, she has a wealth of knowledge. If you just heard, go follow social media, let her put her business stuff out there and get more business people to follow her too, so they can get in business right. Always keep supporting the platform. And I am your host, Andres, and this has been another fantastic interview.